Welcome everybody, one and all. This is the 52nd episode of the Unbanned podcast. I did a big breath there because I wanted to say that with enough energy that your speakers just got blown out. But then I decided to be considerate instead. You know,
I got this.
Don't do it.
Not gonna do it.
Welcome everyone. This is the 52nd episode. It is our 1 year anniversary. Not really, but we're counting it.
So
our
1 year
anniversary was like 3 weeks ago, but we forgot to do a special episode because we are very organized and planned everything out accordingly.
Look, who's looking at days? Right? We're looking at episodes here. Come on.
Yeah, we're looking at very specific numbers here. Very intelligent, specific numbers.
Yeah. I mean, really, we should have done it for the 50th episode because episode 50, which is a milestone, and that was pretty close to 1 year, but fuck it.
We'll do it for 100.
100.
Yeah.
100. We got you. We're
and
there
then
for you.
Then we're going to celebrate 104.
We got to get to episode 420.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
For reasons.
Man.
2 years.
Yeah. All right. So this, I guess I should introduce you guys, right? Everyone knows who you are at this point. This is Justin. That's Jordan. They're my best friends. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm Jake.
Really don't even we don't even need introduction at this point.
Who needs introductions? Not us. Not us.
I mean, you could introduce us still though.
You know. I just did. This is Justin. That's Jordan. These are my two best friends in the world. I'm Jake. There you go. I did it. I did it a second time.
But make it a little bit better, you know? Make it a little more epic. Like give me some pizzazz.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say pizzazz.
Damn it.
Yeah, get the spooky, scary skeletons in on this.
He's trying to turn on.
It's actually unplugged because I had my spooky lights plugged in instead.
Hey,
I can't turn on the light.
Have you ever wondered how trying to start this podcast is? It's right there. You just saw visual confirmation of what that.
Just me trying to turn on a lamp. Yeah.
Trying to turn on a light 4 times before realizing it's unplugged.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit of a different subject. We're not going to be talking about what we've been playing this week, even though I've been playing things. Justin hasn't though. Justin doesn't play video games anymore.
What do you mean? I just uninstalled the Insane Trilogy today. I've been playing video games.
Yeah. Sure. Anyway, we're going to talk about our top 3 favorite games each. So 9 total. That's not 9. That's 9.
8. There you go. You got
9. I can count on my fingers. It's an odd number. Okay. Anyway, 9, and then maybe we'll do honorable mentions. Is what Justin wanted to do. He wanted to do an honorable mention, and we'll just never talk about it.
We all say one game that we like that didn't make the list.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with you.
I had a lot. It was very hard to narrow it down to 3.
What's the one game that didn't make your list, Justin?
Well, like I said to you earlier, I had 8 games on a sticky note, and I had to cross off 5 of them. Last one I crossed off was Time Crisis 2, because it's my favorite arcade game.
It's a solid game. Enjoyed that.
It's a really good game.
Spent a lot of time down at laser tag playing that.
I've made it a goal in my life to buy a cabinet one day. One of those.
I just have to share a little bit of backstory for this episode really quick before we move on to whatever Jordan's honorable mention is. Jordan, use this time. Think about it. I suggested, I think I was looking for ideas. Someone suggested top 10 games, and I was like, guys, if we do top 10 game, that is 30 games. If we spend 15 minutes on each one of them, that is a 6-hour long podcast. We are not doing top 10s.
I know you don't like talking about our past, but we did top 10s multiple times before this.
But they were single cards in a card game.
and those were 3 or 4 hour episodes too.
They were long. They were long.
No, they were 2 max.
No,
we cut them down a lot. Yeah.
I cut them down to 2. There was one, I think it was the Eldraine one we did. That thing took 4 hours to record. Right. I cut it down to 3 hours and 10 minutes. I cut 50 minutes of crap from that thing.
We used to record at 2 p.m. on Sunday. We were late that day. I think we finished you were running out the door to work.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah. Tons of fun, but it was nuts.
All right, if we get enough listeners and downloads and all that stuff and viewers on YouTube, top 100 games of all time from all 3 of us, episode 100.
Yeah, that. See, I'm okay with that. if we are able to take the time off of work to do that episode and really do it right, I'd be okay with it.
If we could take 2 days off of work in a row.
Yeah, we wouldn't do top 10 though, because we've already done the top 3. We would do the other 7.
I said each of us do top 100.
No, I've got a better plan. You remember when you were on my stream just reading me the top 100 best games of all time?
Yeah, that was real fun.
We'll just do that as a group.
Okay.
Oh my God, yes.
That'll be our part of our 100th episode. We'll probably do more stuff. But anyway, Jordan, have you thought of an honorable mention yet?
I have a few. I think the honorable mention I'm going to go with is actually, you can just count the entire series of games. It's Jak 2 specifically, but really Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, Jak 3, and even Jak X. I really liked that game too. But those are games from my childhood. I loved them growing up. I've gone back and played them since then, and they are still so good. They're just good, solid games. They like, for the PS2 era, they sum up that era for me, is playing those games and Ratchet and Clank. It's like that. If I want to go back to when I was a kid playing on my PS2, I go play that game.
Yeah, Jak and Daxter is one of my favorite games. I like Jak 2 and Jak 3, but Jak and Daxter just had this like purity to it. I liked it.
This charm.
Yeah,
as a kid, I loved Jak 2 way more because I was like, guns and vehicles and stuff. Going back, Jak and Daxter is just such a good game compared to
it's
like
fantastic.
It's so much better. It's perfect. Like, there's no missteps in that game compared to Jak 2 and Jak 3, which are good games but have some issues.
There's some missions where you're just like, fuck this game.
So Jake, are you going to keep up the 2 theme in the honorable mentions?
No. My honorable mention, it's an honorable mention because I haven't actually like completed this game to the point where I felt comfortable even improving it, but it's actually Legend of Mana. For PlayStation 1 back in the day, I played it so much, and I don't think I ever actually finished it.
Sorry, Jake keeps lagging out for me. What?
Okay, I was gonna put that in Discord without anybody listening.
It's Legend of Mana. Can you still not hear me? Are we gonna have to redo this?
Might have to.
Oh my god. I don't want to redo this.
So unfortunately, it's you.
I mean, you can just lead into it and we can cut it out in the recording, though.
I mean, we could, but it sucks to do it live like this. And then this is the problem with live recording is we have connection issues. We're not all in the same connection.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and the Gizmo was here. The
game is Legend of Mana, though.
Legend of Mana was the shit.
Yeah.
Never played it, actually.
Really? It was one of the most popular PlayStation 1 games, and it's a fantastic game that I love, but I never actually finished it.
Isn't it like RPG-like?
Yeah, it's an RPG.
That's why I've never played it. Got
it. It's a crazy-ass game because the thing is, like, it has, like, a main storyline, but it's not really the main storyline. It is, but, like, you can just ignore it completely.
It's not even that you ignore it. In order to see the whole story in that game, you have to do things in a specific order. Basically, like, you walk into the first town and there's 2 quests that happen simultaneously. Doing one quest doesn't lock out the other one, but if you do one quest before the other, it locks out further quests.
Yeah, it's a weird game, and it's basically like made to be replayed. Anyway, should we get to our actual top 3s though? Not get stuck on Legend of Mana.
We're getting a little too far into Legend of Mana for what I was trying to propose with this.
I'm a great host who totally
watch.
Does everything correctly. Is there anything like that we really, really have to talk about this week that we're forgetting?
The Fall Guys
in the gaming sphere, there's Fall Guys Season 2. There's the CSGO scandal that Jake told me about today.
Yeah, a bunch of coaches got banned in CSGO for cheating. It's crazy. You should go look it up. We'll talk about it next week probably.
Yeah.
But Justin, what is your third favorite game? Is that
my third favorite game? My 15 minutes of staring at a small piece of paper and finding out that Infamous is my third favorite game of all time.
Infamous, the original one?
Yes, the first one. No, I actually never played Infamous 2. I didn't own or I didn't have money when I played Infamous 1. I got it for free when when PSN got hacked that one time and they gave 2 free games to everybody. That's when I got it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just absolutely loved it. I don't know. Like, it's always a game whenever I think, like, what's my favorite game of all time? It always pops up in there some reason. And I'm like, why?
It's an absolutely fantastic game. I remember playing it. I never actually got to finish it because we didn't have a PS3 back in the day.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just
Jordan, are you okay over there?
somebody's in the background.
I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I just had to mute.
I can't.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Continue on. I'm still listening. Don't you worry.
But yeah, just like, I don't know. It was a game I played. I think I played and beat the game about 5 times, which it's a pretty decently long game, especially for like an open world game. And I don't know. I just always, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, I didn't really think about what I would have to say about the game. It's just a game I always sat down and enjoyed for a long time.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the morality system at all. That was like all the rage back when Infamous was released.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it's a cool part of the game for sure. That's the reason I played it so many times. Like, I got to beat it good and evil once. Then I got to do the, like, optional stuff that locks out other stuff at certain points again to get all the trophies, and then just the 5th time to play on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, I don't really like morality systems because I feel like they take choices that could be like just sort of story elements. Hello, Gizmo. Hey guys, Gizmo says hi. He says happy 100th episode.
Happy 100th episode. Thanks.
52nd.
Anyway, sorry, not 100th episode. Happy 1 year. My bad. I got it stuck in my head of us doing 100 episodes.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Don't you worry. The thing about Infamous is that I really don't like morality systems in games. I love that morality system. I think that game did it the best out of all of them. That and Infamous 2. Just because I feel like it makes sense that Cole could be evil because he's basically a fucking god. And when you have that much power, you can go real bad.
Yeah.
Say, what did you go with? What was your preferred?
Oh, I always went good. I prefer to be good in games. Yeah. The only time I'd be evil is like in stuff like Skyrim, and that's because I would get bored and just start killing people or stealing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think shows some of the flaws with like games like Skyrim. But anyway.
Yeah, I definitely preferred evil in that game.
Yeah.
It was just way more powerful, and like at the later ends of the game was just so much easier, even on hard difficulties with how powerful you were evil.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering like Fable. Oh shit. We lost him again.
So close.
Yeah, we might have to stop doing these live.
Just don't even acknowledge it, friends.
We did. It's okay.
We definitely did. But what did it remind you of again?
Fable 2, and just like comparing those two games. Fable 2 morality system, you're good or evil, and then at the end, like you make like a final choice to just pick your ending, basically. And then this one, you actually like, it feels like you have a reason to like pick evil all the way through, and you can like go back. You don't have to stick to being evil, but your ending is actually decided by your choices instead of just being like, hey, I'm at the end now, I want to be good all of a sudden.
And on top of that, the cutscenes change based on what you do too.
Yeah.
Like your appearance changes. There's just something about it. I loved playing it consistently. And then my one regret with that game is I never collected all the shards. I had 3 left, and I sold my PS3. And I was really sad. But it was impossible to find.
Poor little shards, just out there waiting. I'm not gonna spoil
for your loss.
I'm not gonna spoil 2 for you in case you ever play it, but you know how like this happened in Fable 3. If you were evil, you didn't have to pay millions of gold at the end, and then if you were good, you did pay millions of gold at the end. It's really dumb. Infamous 2 has a moment where it's kind of like, this is not what I wanted from my choices.
Yeah,
It just kind of. Then
that's one of my issues with hard morality in systems and games. I like being able to be evil if I feel like it to tell a story, but I want it to be more like this, where it's like, I do an evil thing and it leads to this thing happening, and then like maybe at the end it goes through all of them and it's like, hey, you made these choices, wasn't that so cool that this happened and this is how you got to the end, instead of being like you get like evil points for it. I feel like that makes it weird, you know.
I think, is it in both endings where you kill that one character?
So in
one?
No, in two.
In one.
Oh, okay, I don't.
In two, it's horseshit. Okay,
it's a mess.
Yeah,
it's kind of a mess.
It's kind of like the ending of Mass Effect 3, where your choices didn't fucking matter.
Oh, I remember the end of 2 now. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, the end of 1's wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
The ending was pretty lackluster for how good the game was.
Yeah, dude, you know, did you ever play, because you never played 2, so you never played the best piece of DLC I've ever played for a game.
Oh, well, I saw somebody play it. I saw my favorite YouTuber play it.
Dude, was so good. I wanted them to make a game.
It was the
Festival of Blood.
Oh,
yeah,
the vampire one.
I wanted them to make a game, kind of like Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption, where the DLC was so good, I wanted them to just say fuck the main game and just do that again.
To just make better. Like Infamous 2.5.
Yeah, Infamous 2.5. Cole's just literally a vampire now. This is how it goes. Or he becomes like a vampire hunter or something. I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Well, Jordan, what is your third favorite game of all time?
So, it's got a bit of a caveat with it. It is Transistor by Supergiant Games, because that game is beautiful. The story is perfect. It has a hum button. At any point during the game, you hit the button and Red stops and hums, and you get to listen to Ashley Barrett's fantastic singing voice being like, and I'm like, oh, I love so many things about this game. However, this is the thing about Transistor, is that you can literally take what I said about Transistor and apply it to any of Super Bastion's games. Or not Super Bastion, Super Giants.
I
meant to say Super Giants.
Bastion, because Bastion is their first
same
game.
Exact thing, except in a slightly different package. Pyre, I haven't gotten around to playing yet, but I need to, because apparently it's games. Just as good. And Hades is the same way. And something that they learned from Transistor was something that I love in Hades and Transistor, and I don't know if they did in Pyre. Hopefully they did. So in games, they added in lore dumps and audio logs and stuff. I love the way that you unlock these in Transistor. You don't get them by going around and picking them up. You have to use the modulars. I cannot fucking
the modules.
The modules.
Magellos.
Oh my God, the Magellos.
The Magellos.
The abilities that are associated with those characters. Essentially, you're accessing their memories by like channeling them through the Transistor, and that's how you learn about the areas and the characters and the lore. And it felt so cool because it encouraged you to go and experiment with different builds. Because I found a lot of really broken builds that you could do with the different skills, and I was tempted to just spam those, but I was like, oh, but I don't get to learn more about this character if I don't use this in a different way.
I just imagine the person's like, I don't have any more memories. I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Like Kirby's doing his down B for the 38th time for me. He's like, look, I went to the bathroom today.
It was runs out of knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. But it was just so much fun to experiment. And then they took what they learned from Transistor and they applied it to Hades. And they're like, and then just went ape shit with it. And I'm like, I'm so glad, because Hades is just so good because of it. But Transistor was the one that started it, and it has all my love. And I'm not finished with Hades yet, so I can't put it on there yet. Yeah.
Any opinion on this, Jake? I've never played Transistor.
I enjoyed Transistor, what I played of it. I was not able to finish it. Something about the combat just didn't gel with me. I need to try again one of these days, but everything he said about it, like I did get to a little bit of the lore in the bit of that I played, and like unlocking it's cool. You could pick any Supergiant game, any of them, and you'll have a good time. Like,
Yeah.
I
I recommend just starting with Bastion and going through,
yeah,
because all of them are worth your money and time. They're so consistently good. They're the only game company that has never burned me. Only one.
Bastion is
Also,
like
if it helps. I'm sorry.
Bastion is like up there in like my top 10 favorite games, but I guarantee if I play Hades or Pyre, it'll probably bump it off.
Dude, Hades is
So-
so good. It's so
And-
good.
Just to maybe help people want to get these games more, the games are super cheap on Steam
Yeah.
compared to like new games, like $20-$25.
Can I say one more thing about Super Giant Games? When they made Bastion, they had like 10. I think they had 6 people. Yeah, they've increased that to like 15. These games are being made by a crew of like, it's just a bunch of friends who are just really passionate about games. They just work their asses off and put out more consistently high quality stuff than like AAA game studios with millions of dollars, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not even lacking content either. You get a good 40 hours out of Transistor if you do a completionist playthrough of it. You get, from Hades, you can probably get hundreds of hours. Once you add on all the modifiers and stuff, you get an end game that I've gotten researched on. Like, you can play that game forever. And it's just like, games are super cheap. All of them are really worth your time. Go check them out.
So I'll just jump into my 3. All 3 of them at once. No. Mine, when I put them down on paper, they weren't in any particular order, but I think I'm gonna list them kind of in like order of chronologically, like when I played them. So the most recent one is Undertale. Undertale, a lot of people like to harp on it and be like, "Oh man, this game's amazing. This is so good." And a lot of critics and really like well-versed gamers who play a lot of like indie games that have a point and have like things they want you to feel, they kind of like to poo-poo Undertale. It doesn't help that the fan base for the game is fucking just awful, just terrible.
The worst. I'm
They're-
sorry,
they're
Undertale
just-
fandom. You guys.
You need to chill, Undertale fandom. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but chill. But the reason why I think it resonates so much with me and with everyone else is it's kind of like if you took Alfred Hitchcock, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, like that amount of emotional meaning, and then you gave it to someone like Joss Whedon. It's you take this game that has a lot to say, and then you make it presentable to literally anyone. Anyone can play Undertale and probably enjoy it.
And also make it anime.
Yeah, and also make
it's
it
kind of anime.
It's a little bit anime. It's a little bit like, it's based off. It's very heavily influenced by, Mother in that series.
Yeah.
But is anime real?
Sure.
Sans is my waifu. He's real. to me.
Isn't that a question? Isn't that a question in the game that you can tell that you have to answer for somebody?
I
Oh,
think you did,
yeah, Undyne.
For
I think-
Alphys. No, for Alphys. Alphys is the one that watches anime.
No, Alphys doesn't think it's real. Undyne thinks they're real.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. But
Look, I know more about this game than you guys.
I haven't
I'm
played
gonna-
in a
Oh,
while,
that's a joke.
but the other thing, and this is not a spoiler for the game, in case you haven't played it yet. It's literally a tagline in the trailer, but it is one of the only RPGs and the only games that I can think of, especially when it was released. It's a little bit more common now to not be able to kill anyone, but you can go through that entire game without killing anyone. It won't tell you how. It doesn't just let you pick a switch and like say, I don't want to kill this person. You have to get creative, but you can do it, and you'll get a different ending, a completely different ending from your normal ending. If you, there's like 37 endings for Undertale, and most of them are significantly different.
yeah, it changed. From what I've seen, it changes mostly what is said at the end. But there's like 3 main ones that you can get, and then there's variations in between them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like Undertale a lot.
Also-
I haven't played the. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's maybe avoided Undertale up until this point, but I
But
can't get the second.
The bad
The-
ending.
The bad
basically.
ending I can't get. I can't go through.
To get the
I
bad
just-
ending, you have to be really bad.
it makes me too sad.
Yeah.
It makes me sad to play it, and I don't want to do it. I can't.
So you just gotta not make connections with them first, and then just go through with it.
That's
What you gotta do.
That's what's
And be
amazing
ruthless.
to me about Undertale is I've never met anyone who has played it and not had at least one character they enjoyed. I've not seen anyone online like sit down to play it, or like anyone in my life sit down to play it and not been like, oh yeah, I like Toriel, or Toriel's the first character you meet basically. Or Sans, or any of the characters. And that's incredible to me. The fact that like somehow everyone has someone in this game that they can like kind of relate to. Also, the combat is just really fun, and it hurts me that basically like the hard mode of the game is the bad ending. That's when the combat gets the hardest.
Yeah, so you don't get to experience it.
So if you play my preferred route, it's actually quite an easy game. It's not actually that hard.
Yeah.
Also, that
Undertale's
game.
dope.
One last thing, that game made me cry, and I used to tell people that game made me a better person, and it really kind of did, because it was one of the first games I played that made me think like, oh, maybe like people in a game can like feel not just like characters in a game. Like it's like when you watch a movie and you get attached to the characters and you really want to watch them like have like a good life, and you know you want that person who dies in the one movie to like go on and get his girlfriend and live happily ever after, but you just can't have it. That's not how life works.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the only games that I can look at the cast and be like, I really hope they're all doing well, because I don't know. And I feel like that's a thing for RPGs though. Is a good RPG as well. If I play your RPG and I don't have a character at the end of it who I'm like, dude, you and me and you forever, bro. We're going to the stars, me and you. If I don't have that by the end of it, you made a bad RPG. You need to go rewrite your story, get a better character, get that shit in there. And in Undertale, I feel that way about every character.
I have a quick question on that. Is it okay to be with that person in a game? Like, you and me, we're going all the way, but then everybody hates that person?
How do you mean? Like,
you guys ever played Telltale's The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I played a lot of it. I didn't.
You know Kenny.
Yeah,
me and him the whole way. We got this. Guy's an absolute asshole, and I think he's a racist as well. I'm not sure. But I was like, you and me are going the whole way. We got this, man.
Yeah. Dude, wait, isn't Kenny in... He's the one with the kid, Duck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to say what happens. Oh.
Don't you dare. All right. So where were we? We were going on to, I think, Justin's...
Let's see. We finished Undertale.
one,
Let's
right?
get more.
Oh, I don't.
No, there's
I'm
not...
good. I'm good
Just
to
go play the game.
Don't
Don't let people saying it's cringe push you away from it. Because I've seen a lot of people be like, Undertale is so cringe.
I did have one more thing to say. A lot of people who poo-poo on Undertale also like point to like Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, like all these like classic RPGs as like it's kind of doing what they're doing, where like you get attached to a character and then you follow their storyline and stuff. You don't seem to understand that people don't make games like that anymore.
Yeah.
That was part of what was cool about Undertale, is it was like those games like 20 years later.
The other thing is that those games also have the problem of being JRPGs, which I agree with Donkey on this. Classic JRPGs have not aged well. They're not fun. I'm sorry. Turn-based combat is not fun. ATB is okay. It's all right.
I like turn-based, but the thing I don't like is the way random encounters work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those games don't have like, you can't like buy an item and be like, oh, well, I don't want to do random encounters right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even, it's random encounters, and then I gotta be honest, I don't like just hitting attack over and over again, because the cool thing about turn-based combat is that you can, and this is a bit of a side, I'll cut it short, but the thing about turn-based combat that is cool is that you can strategize, because you have all the time in the world to think. But 90% of combat in JRPGs like that is broken down to mash the button so I attack so I can move the fuck on and get to the next battle. It's just, ugh. It hasn't aged well. It was made to add more content to a game that didn't have a lot of content. That's what it was designed for. And there's a reason why modern games have just gotten rid of it or done something with it to make it more interesting, because it doesn't work. Anyway, back to the top 3.
Yeah. Is that papyrus, by the way, under your lamp? Without clothes on? Is that naked papyrus?
This guy? No, that's a monkey skeleton.
Same thing.
Real monkey skeleton. It's right next to his monkey's paw.
I use the monkey's paw daily, by the way. I'm not afraid.
Of course.
Hey, Justin, what's your number 2 favorite game? Your second favorite game of all time?
My second favorite game of all time is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, specifically for the PS1, because don't support Vicarious Visions and their shitty game making.
Whoa.
Justin's opinions does not necessarily represent the opinions of the podcast.
It's great on PlayStation 1.
I haven't gotten to the third one on Insane Trilogy yet, but I did play the original, and that was one of my favorite parts of childhood, was Crash Bandicoot 3. It's great.
Yeah.
I have the disc in my closet right now in a jewel case. The original disc I got as a kid. It was my first game I ever got.
Jewel case, man. It's so good.
Yeah. It's great.
Crash Bandicoot, like, iconic platformer. I kind of miss the mascot platformers. There was like that resurgence where we got like Hat in Time and Ukulele. They got it back to a little while back, where people were like, oh yeah, collectathons again. And then Hat in Time, I think, is pretty dang good. I haven't played it yet. I backed that game, but then I've not played it. And it's just like,
yeah, apparently it's really good.
Apparently Ukulele was not as good, but
I hate Ukulele.
I didn't see anyone do a Crash Bandicoot inspired one. We got Banjo with Ukulele, and we got Super Mario 64 with Hat in Time.
Then we just got the games remastered.
And then, we just got them remastered. I kind of wanted someone else to do like their own take on Crash. I think that would have been cool. No one ever did, but I guess maybe because Crash is maybe it's just too hard to get right. Maybe it's just perfect.
We got Sonic Mania.
That's true.
That was another remake. That game's great too.
Nostalgic games, man.
Yeah.
Like, and Crash Bandicoot Warped it's just so solid. Of all the Crash games,
the
I think
only
it's
part I don't
the
like
best one
of that game is the damn motorcycle levels.
I was about to say, there's
That's
two things I don't like about the game. It's the motorcycle levels and the water levels. I can't stand the water sometimes. But the motorcycle levels just ruin everything.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Those are levels where it's like you go and play them and you can get through them easily, but it's because not because they're good and because you've mastered the janky ass controls that they shipped with.
But like you can't you can say that Tiny was a shitty boss, but every other boss really fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like repeatedly just play over and over again.
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I think in the speed run for Crash 3, they actually like never hit any of the boosts for the motorcycle levels.
No, they have to hit the boost. They never.
Oh, they have to hit.
They do everything. Yeah, they do everything they can to not let go of the gas pedal the entire time.
Yeah.
They have to keep that boost going as long as possible. If you touch the side of the road, if you let go, there's like 3 different criteria. If you take a jump, you lose that boost and it loses you a ton of seconds.
Oh, it's jumps they avoid.
Jumps is what
they have to.
Yeah, if you have to hit a jump, you hit it. But if you can't, then you lose your boost and you don't want that.
Yeah.
I think the fact that people are still speedrunning that game. Wait, what?
Uh-oh.
Cell phone during the podcast?
It's mom.
It's mine.
She was supposed to call
mom.
I called her like 2 days ago because she called me to tell me something, and then she's like, "I'll call you right back." And it's been 2 days, and I forgot to. We both just forgot.
But yeah, just like I'm thinking, what are some bad levels in that game? Like I 100%ed that game one time just because I was at my brother's house, and I'm like, all I brought with me is Crash Bandicoot Warped, and he has a PS3, so let's try this. And I 100%ed it in like a few hours because it was just so much fun, relics and everything. And I'm like,
so dope.
What happened?
By the way, we're talking about the bad elements of Crash because basically everything that we don't mention is amazing. Just fantastic.
Maybe the Fruit Bazooka. The Fruit Bazooka is kind of cheesy bullshit.
I thought the plane levels were a little bit meh, but then again, I haven't played through that game since I was young, so it's like I probably just couldn't do them very well. You
haven't played Crash Wrath of Cortex then?
No, I didn't play any after Warped.
play Crash Wrath of Cortex. You will love the plane levels in 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just because they're so shit. Okay.
Oh, they're garbage.
But just, I don't know what it is about Warped, by the way, because all of the Crash games are pretty damn good, right?
No, the first one.
The first one has some issues, but it was the first one. Like it didn't.
The second was a good game.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Warped with the hitting the button and jumping into the orb.
Oh,
it did something
nice.
so good for like I've never had a game that feels better to select a level in. It's just so good. I don't know. Maybe in Demon Souls with the Arc Stones. That also is one of those things where I'm like, I don't know why it feels so good. I need to examine that. It just feels good to play. Like those games are just
it's super satisfying.
You get jump in. Sometimes I would just sit there and I would just run across the buttons. And
every time, yeah. You try to jump in before the thing appears and everything.
Yeah.
You're like, get me in there as fast as possible.
Yeah. Man, Naughty Dog knows how to present a game. They still do. Like The Last of Us. The presentations off the.
Let's say you like a strong male protagonist that shoots guns. Naughty Dog can do it.
They kind of have gotten worse in the. Yeah. But they still nail presentation in all their games, though. That's what they're really good at. So
this one didn't make my list, but as a tiny honorable mention, man, I love the Sly Cooper games. Every time I think about Crash, I think of Jack, Spyro, and Sly Cooper. I love those games.
The mascots, man.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
You think they'll remaster Jack? Sorry to interrupt that.
They did.
Oh, they did. They did on the PS3. Yeah, they were really good. I have them.
Oh.
I still got my PS3.
Now it looks stupid.
Back up.
Have they done Sly as well?
I don't still have a PS3.
I think I do.
It was my PS3. I bought it, and it's not around anymore.
Let me go check my closet.
I think I
bought another one.
If you bought another one, I'm excited. But
Jordan, what's your second favorite game of all time?
Second favorite game of all time is Diablo 2. There's so many things to love about Diablo 2. I mean, Diablo made the ARPG genre, as we note. And Diablo 2 was just like, what if we took this groundbreaking game and made it like way, way better? And
just to say this right now, Jordan, you're amazing at picking games I've never played before.
That's because you need to play better games.
I've played it.
Yeah. How many characters do you think you have played in Diablo 2? How many times have you started that game over again?
Probably 100.
Something like that. Yeah. I've played every single class multiple times. It's so good. Like,
Druid was my boy, though. The main reason I'm even trying to think about playing Diablo 4 is because they brought back my Druid.
Yeah. The only reason I played Diablo 3 as much as I did is because it feels like Diablo 2, kinda, but not even close. Path of Exile is a lot better, but I haven't delved into that game as much. But Path of Exile didn't even hit it right. I don't know what it is about that game that is so perfect. Like, Path of Exile just wasn't quite there as far as how good Diablo 2 was. I don't know why.
I tried to play Path of Exile, and I think we've talked about this before on the podcast, but we'll reiterate. Something about the jankiness of Diablo 2, it improves it for me, if that makes sense. Like there's certain things that are streamlined, like the potion belt system, like having potions on your belt. So in order to quick use potions in Diablo 2, you have to have a belt, and then your belt could hold more stuff, which would then put it on hotkeys for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in Path of Exile, this is just like a baseline feature, and you can put all sorts of consumables in there.
And the consumables do different things depending on the bottles you have, and it's really interesting. It's really deep.
Yeah, it's like they expanded on the same system, but I'm like, the system was just like, it was already fine. Like, you didn't have to change it. If you were going to change it, you might as well just replace it with a normal action bar, because that's the actual evolution of that.
Well, the other thing is that I don't know why, just to focus on the belt for a second, I don't know why the idea of sticking potions on your belt and then having it be on your hotkeys I don't know why that's such a. It's so beautiful. It's perfect. It's so elegant.
Well,
And I
it
feel
also
like
made you
every
excited to
game-
get belts, which is an
Yeah.
item that like doesn't do a lot for you, like stat wise. But
In,
if
like,
you get a
most
new
games,
belt,
yeah.
it might give you more potion slots.
And then that gives you more options and more healings for more dangerous areas. Like, I love the fact that in Diablo 2, you start out as one class, and then it's like, oh, darn, I really wish I could teleport. So you go farm gear, and then a staff will drop that you can use that has ranks in teleport from sorceress. So now you can teleport. I love the weird shit like that. And I think Path of Exile actually does that, where you can get other. You
But
can get
most other
different abilities.
ARPGs don't do that.
Yeah, and it's like one thing I've realized I love in games is freedom to do what I want, or even if the game doesn't necessarily say, "Hey, if you're a necromancer, you can unlock the ability to teleport." I want the ability to maybe find an item that fills that in my build, or like find a different way to approach a problem, you know? And Diablo 2 does. It's like there's so many different builds you can do. Like freaking paladins were rocking 2 shields until they patched it out because the shields could shield, both of them could shield bash. So you just bound shield bash to both keys for your left and right arm, and then you got double the block chance and double the defense. And it was busted. And I'm like, that's so good. Only old RPGs hit like that, where they just didn't consider that some idiot would put 2 shields on and start bashing demons with it. It's just like, only old RPGs hit like that. Only old RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Diablo 2, fantastic. Also, I need to go play the Median XL mod at some point, because someone made a total conversion mod where they rebalanced everything and added in epic quests and like all sorts of stuff. And I still haven't gotten to play it, but I will at some point.
Hey Justin, we're playing Diablo 2
Yeah,
right now. Congrats.
get used to it.
We're doing
Yeah.
it. Okay.
We're a Diablo 2 podcast now.
Yes.
That's all we're doing.
Unbanned Diablo 2. I hope Diablo 4 is good. I don't want to give my money to Activision though.
Yeah.
God, it's such a problem.
Anyway, makes you feel a little bit gross. Speaking about giving your money to people who make you feel a little bit gross.
Oh, is your second game Honey Pop?
No.
I'm kidding.
I
That's
didn't
a
want
fun
to
game
say.
too, but
I
Those
didn't want
devs
to.
have- Dude, the devs for Honey Pop have always come off as really chill, actually.
no, my second favorite game of all time. This one's really close to number 1, but I think it is second for right now. It's Silent Hill 2, which is made
Ooh.
by Konami.
Fuck Konami.
Yeah.
But-
Silent Hill 2, I don't think Justin's ever played it, which is why he's staring off into space right now.
Yep.
Justin doesn't play good games, dude. He just plays like fucking FIFA all day.
Look.
I mean,
It's
that's why
NFL,
you're.
not FIFA.
See, but that's why you're here. Is you play different games to us. You have different tastes. Me and Jake are like, yeah, we're on board with Diablo 2 and the
And-
Silent Hill 2 train.
Also, with that, I was just seeing if these games were on Steam or not.
So this is like my biggest sadness is Silent Hill 2. You have 2 ways to play it. The original PS2 version, which I believe I actually still have. It's in Jordan's room.
Yeah. it's back there.
Or the PS3 remaster of Silent Hill 2 and 3, where they ruined part of the game.
I think there was a PC release that you could find, but I don't
There-
think they've released it on Steam or anything.
There is a PC release. It does not run very well, and people have been begging Good Old Games to get it. They got Silent Hill 4 recently, so maybe we'll get Silent Hill 2 on Good Old Games. And then Good Old Games, as far as I've been able to see, they basically, when you sign a contract with them, they will keep your game updated and running forever and keep selling it. So, Silent
dude,
Hill
there's
2.
an enhanced edition that's a mod.
Silent Hill 2. I don't even know where to begin with this game. This game is the first game that like really made me into like horror games. It's the first game that I think like made me significantly feel like sadness from a game.
I mean, I felt spoilers for Legends of Raccoon 2. And the first game that made me sad was when Lovitz died, but
Oh, Lovitz. I guess that's true. I did feel, but something about Silent Hill 2, like it's just everything about it just came together. From
I
the
think
weird
it's
like
different.
even the weird janky voiceovers just like work so well for
I think
the game.
I think what you're I'm gonna try to put words to what you're describing. It's the difference between like in Harry Potter, Dumbledore dies. Spoilers. And then everyone's sad. Oh no, Harry Potter. But you're gonna win in the end. Silent Hill 2 is more like the ending of I Saw the Devil, where you're like, oh, everything's sad. It's never gonna be okay. Oh God.
Well, I think
that's how horror should be, by the
Yeah.
way. That horror should not leave you with a happy ending, in my opinion. It should leave you feeling somewhat wrecked, almost like it took something from you. And Silent Hill 2 kind of does that.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2 does have also different endings, but
yeah, it does have a couple of happy endings.
None of them are 100% happy.
Yeah.
There's in Silent Hill 1 there is a 100% pretty much happy ending. Like you can leave with your daughter, if I remember right, in one of the endings. There's not one in Silent Hill 2 where everything is resolved. And that's kind of the point of the game. It's not really about fighting monsters or going through a scary town. It's about the main character facing what they are and what they've done.
Not to burst your bubble, but I think the UFO ending has all happy things.
No, the UFO endings in every Silent Hill pretty much ends up with the main character being abducted and probed to death. It's implied.
So where's the bad part?
I get probed and die? Fantastic.
I think in the UFO ending in the first one, he gets shot with a laser beam and just dies immediately.
That's kind of funny.
It's a funny ending, but it's
the dog. The dog ending is 100% happy because the dog goes over and comforts him. It's like
so. I can spoil this without even. I won't even feel bad. In Silent Hill 2, if you play the game way too much and get really good at it, you can get the dog ending in which the main character James goes into a room at the end of the game and there is a Shiba sitting at a console and then James just goes, "It was you the whole time?" and like goes over and like crouches on the ground as he's realizing this whole thing was fake, and the dog comes over and licks his face in apology and as an apology.
The dog's like, "Hey, I'm sorry for tormenting you. It's all right."
Yeah, where's the bad part of that ending? I thought that was the UFO ending, I'll be honest with you. But
no, there is no UFO ending in 2.
Okay, that's why I called it the UFO ending, is because every other one has a UFO ending, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. 2 is on it. One of the reasons I prefer 2 to like 1 and 3 and 4. 4 is close. I think that if I played it, I would really enjoy 4. But 1 and 3 are kind of more about Silent Hill. It's less about the main character. Mm-hmm. 2 it's about James. James is the point of Silent Hill 2. If you go into the game thinking like, what does James think about this? Like, how does this affect James? What does this mean about James? I think you'll have a better time than if you play Silent Hill 1 and you're like trying to solve a mystery.
Yeah. It's like Silent Hill 2 is like, I haven't seen any other game that does stuff like this. Like everyone knows the bubblehead nurses from Silent Hill, right? They're the sexy nurses that are spooky, right?
Yeah.
Why are they sexy? In Silent Hill 2, they had a reason to be sexy. In every other game, they're just there because they look cool.
They also aren't as sexy in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The model is not nearly as sexy in the first one. That happened in 2.
Yeah. And it's just like, why? Like, everyone knows Pyramid Head too. And it's like, why is Pyramid Head designed that way? It's like, if you dig into the story, there's a reason why he looks the way he does. It's just like, I've not ever seen any other game do that, really, where the things you're fighting are not just what they are. Like, I'm sure someone could comment and tell me a game that's done this, but it's just like Silent Hill 2 is the first one I can think of that's like, it's a metaphor. It's all referencing back to James, and it's all reinforcing his freaking journey as a character through this thing. And it's just like, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah. In my opinion, horror should do one of two things. It should either A, affect the person interacting with it, or it should have characters that you want to see interact with it or survive it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to drop a quick Easter egg here. It has nothing to do with Silent Hill 2,
Well,
But you know that Norman Reedus is in Silent Hill 3?
really?
He
Yeah,
was really.
There's a magazine with a screen. I think the cover of the movie Gossip, which Norman Reedus is in, and it's on the shelf in in like this magazine place in
Which
Silent
is
Hill
funny because
3.
he was going to be in Silent Hills.
He was in
That's
Silent Hills.
That's crazy.
Also, one of my like saddest moments
Sorry to
in like
do that.
gaming recently was the fact that Silent Hills got canceled.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
I mean, I didn't like all the hype over PT. Like, it was like the amount of depth in a demo was amazing, but it was like everybody was talking about it for way too much. I'm just like, all right, guys.
Because it was
it's a demo.
promising. It was what we wanted from Silent Hill after years
Dude,
Yeah.
of Silent Hill being just garbage.
Resident Evil 7 literally just ripped that shit off for their demo, and it was fantastic. It was so cool.
I mean, the demo again was just, I don't
They
know.
literally did the same thing, same
Oh, I
exact
know.
shit, where they like
I tried
updated
to
it
do it.
afterward and added in more stuff, and it's like, what? And it worked. It's such a brilliant marketing strategy, and you know what? I don't mind it at all. I don't care that I'm being marketed to because it's fun as hell and so cool.
The only thing is, I feel like Kojima would have like fucked that game into submission.
I disagree heavily.
Yeah, I don't agree
because Death Stranding made no fucking sense, right? And was weird as hell. That's awesome for a horror game. In horror, if it makes sense, it's no longer scary. If you can understand what the fuck is going on, then the horror is lost. Meanwhile, if you make Death Stranding into a horror game, holy shit, dude.
I feel like Death Stranding was a lot of what they wanted for Silent Hills kind of went into Death Stranding. But on top of that, one of the things about Kojima, and I think we saw this in Death Stranding, is if you let him do whatever, he does whatever, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the cool thing about Silent Hills was it was a collaboration between him and his team and Guillermo.
Guillermo.
I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Del Toro. Sorry. But it would be a collaboration. I think that would help keep his ideas
at bay,
more focused, more focused. Not at bay, not in check. He's not crazy. He just has a lot of ideas. He's a very artistic person.
I don't know. I think Norman Reedus with his child that he just gave birth to, it's a little out of control.
He didn't give birth
that
to
is
it.
not what that is.
That's
that is not the
happened.
deep meaning behind the babes. Okay.
Anyway,
you don't even know about Death Stranding lore.
Silent Hill 2, though. Silent Hill 2, though, is a fantastic game, and I would love to see another entry that's actually even a quarter as good as that one.
All right.
Get on it, Activision.
Let's get on to Justin's number one.
Oh, it's time for the audio. It's time for the audio listeners to hate me because I'm about to do a great visual gag here. I've been hinting at it the entire time, as you see.
Oh, I see.
It's back.
My number one game of all time is Resident Evil 4.
For the audio listeners, there's a really large energy sword from Halo in the background.
They just pulled Resident Evil 4 from out of nowhere.
Obviously, it was there the whole time. It was right under it. You could have saw it.
Yeah. All right, Justin. Why is Resident Evil 4 one of the best games ever made? Your favorite game?
It's just a great game from beginning to end, except the castle section, even though it's 2/3 of the game or 1/3 of the game. I don't like the castle section. I think it's kind of annoying, but it's just a great game from top to bottom as well. Like I said with like the other, it's a game that for some reason I just keep going back to. I've lost track of how many times I've beat it at this point.
I actually currently have Resident Evil 4 installed via Steam. It's probably the 6th time I've bought the game, or something like that. It's been a lot of times buying that game. But anyway, I have it installed just in case I get the urge to go back and play it again. So I totally feel that.
I've been on every single console except, I think, PS4 and PS3.
It was released on PS4?
HD.
Oh my god.
Like, it's been on every console you can think of except, like, GBA. It released on the phone, on the iPhone App Store.
I'm gonna play it on the iPhone. Fuck it.
It's
Yeah,
taken
let's
off
go.
now. They took
Let's
it
go.
down
Why'd they take it down?
because it
Lord.
was. Imagine a completely stripped down Resident Evil 4.
Oh, it was an embarrassment to the legacy of the game.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I got the free demo and I'm like, this is garbage.
I'll find a way to play it. It's
Yeah.
happening.
It's
Probably
Right.
online somewhere.
Resident Evil 4 is the best game I've ever played where you can't walk half the time.
What do you mean? You walk the entire time when you're holding A or X or whatever button it is on your console.
Yeah, but you spend
You're
most of your
walking.
time in that game aiming, and when you aim, you can't move. So you can't walk like half the time in that game. But that's good because although the game's not straight horror, it's moving more towards action, it makes it more tense because you can't just run and gun. You have to stop and aim. That's
That's
really
every
good.
Resident Evil game.
Well, yes, but
6
that
was
one
the
made it.
first time.
Yes, that's true. That one made it better because
I lied.
because of the over the shoulder thing though. Because you do have to stop and aim with the other ones, but the tank controls, it's less.
It's so
inten-
unaccessible.
Yeah, it's less intense when I've gone back and played it, and more irritating. It doesn't give me the feeling of like being in a terrifying situation. It's just I am just irritated that I cannot hit him.
By the way, I lied. Resident Evil Outbreak 2 is the first game where you can walk and aim.
Yeah. Go on.
I know that you don't like the castle section, but I can't think of a single part of Resident Evil 4 that I disliked.
Yeah, I
From
really enjoyed
the
it.
main game to the little extra like scenarios to the mercenaries minigame, I liked every part of that game.
Oh yeah, randomly I just played Assignment Ada not too long ago. I've already got the stuff that you get for beating it, but I'm like, I got 30 minutes to kill. Let's just beat Assignment Ada real quick.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's insane. I mean,
But yeah, the castle section is mainly just 3-1 that I hate. The catapults in the water room.
the man has played the game so much he knows the chapters. I could not have
It's
told
not that
you
many
what 3-1
chapters.
is.
There's
I
not
could
that-
not have told you what 3-1 was in that game. I could have been like,
Me either.
oh well, there's this part and this part, but
The first chapter of the castle.
yeah. If we're done talking about this, we can get into my number one, and I will tell you about my photographic memory of a game.
Hold on.
Okay.
I might play Resident Evil 4 on stream. That's the only. I'm just chilling. Give me a second.
Oh, dude, it's gonna, we should both try to speedrun it. Dude, let's go.
Dude,
So we should
I
all
hear-
play it
I
at the
hear
same
this-
time.
There's a
Yeah.
mod for the PC version where you can play as Ashley.
Oh yeah. that
Yeah,
sounds
and then you just
I
sit
thought
in a
you were gonna
box all
say-
day.
fun.
I thought you
Really?
were gonna say the HD overhaul of the game that you can get on PC,
Oh,
where
you
like
can?
everything is super detailed. Like when you look at a wall and it's like this wallpaper that was printed in like 60p, and you can see each pixel on it. No, these people went in and overhauled every texture in the game.
Yeah, I'll
Damn, dude.
play it with that because I'm
It's-
playing Resident Evil 2 on stream right now, and it is beautiful. I don't know if
Oh,
I can go back to Resident Evil 4 graphics, even with an HD lift.
Dude, I need to go
Yeah.
play those games. Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Dude.
I'll get to it.
They're so good.
All right, Jordan. I know what it is already, but why don't you tell?
I know what it is as well.
Yeah, just to know.
Anyone who knows me or has seen me tweet a few times knows what game this is.
RuneScape.
You've probably
Yeah, no.
you probably have watched the show. You might be able to guess what it is, what his favorite game of all time is. But why don't you just tell us? Tell us what's your
Wait.
favorite game, Jordan?
My favorite game of all time is Dark Souls. I've bought it probably 6 or 7 times across various consoles. I've put over 1,000 hours into it. I would go, and if you ask me, hey Jordan, do you want to play Dark Souls? I would go boot it up right now.
I
Probably
love
play
how
for a good 4 hours.
I love how this fucker folds his hands like he's at a job interview when he says all that.
All I can
He goes
say
to
is,
Wendy's for a job interview,
Do you
and it's
wanna
like, so
talk
what are your
about how-
interests? You like Dark Souls?
you want to know? Here, let me tell you about something. You know how Justin said 3-1? I can probably, if you name an item in Dark Souls, I can probably tell you where it is.
Where'd you get the Hornet Ring from?
Where's the
Hornet
stick?
Ring? Oh shit, that one I might not know.
Oh,
There's a lot of items, but there's quite a few items I can tell you where they're from.
Dude,
Hornet
tell me where-
Ring. Wait, no, Hornet Ring. That one comes from Ornstein, doesn't it? No,
Wow, you
I know
look-
it's Ornstein's ring because
Ornstein's-
he
Ornstein
does the
is-
stabby thing.
Ornstein looks like what? And he gets the Hornet Ring? Ornstein
look-
gives you the Lion Ring.
The lion ring. Okay, my bad.
You idiot.
All right. Well, I didn't actually do this to make fun of Jordan, but he's a lion. He's dressed like a lion.
Hold up. Wait. The Hornet Ring increases stab damage, right? You use Dex. You're a filthy Dex wielder.
Imagine that. Yeah.
See, this is the thing, is that I've built one Dex build on Dark Souls in all the time I've played it. I've done Miracles. I've done Pyromancer. I've done Sorcery. I've done Strength. I've done Range, which is useless, by the way.
Yeah, range
Anyone who
sucks.
builds a range build, but I've never built melee Dex. Do you know why? It's just not that great.
It's not Dark Souls.
No,
Yeah.
it's just not that great.
You
All
get
of
it
the
from,
strength weapons are like better.
You get it from Karen. Siren? Karen?
Oh, that's why.
They like to talk to your manager.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Goodness. Okay. But yeah, Dark Souls is. Hey, you want to know something about Dark Souls as well? Dark Souls has a really deep lore. Do you know how you learn about the lore? Just by examining shit and talking to people. And
Dark Souls, and then he will dump 2 hours of lore on your ass, and
dude,
just for no reason.
So the person he was thinking of is Siren, and yes, she does have the Hornet Ring, which I always thought was weird because she doesn't dress like a fucking hornet.
No, she just has 2 daggers.
Yeah.
Was this Venture Bros?
No, it's not. She doesn't look like a hornet. But Ornstein and Smo both look like their things. And then Goff is... What ring does Goff give you? Because his boosts arrows. I can't remember.
It just tells you to go fuck yourself.
Maybe.
I think it's...
Oh, now you guys are cheating. Wow, you don't even know this vast, expansive game.
We're just gonna Google.
Dude,
Unbelievable.
there's so many items, dude, and they all do like... I mean, I'm clowning on Dex builds. Dex builds aren't actually that bad, but it's like the thing I love about Dark Souls.
Aw.
I'm not getting distracted by myself talking shit. Is the game, even though it's a linear game, it feels more open and has more stuff in it than every open world RPG I have ever played. The world feels so much more realized, more fleshed out. And everyone always focuses on how hard Dark Souls is. It's not hard. I, as someone who's played the game for 1,000 hours, would tell you, it's not that hard. If you slow down and take your time in Dark Souls, we've mentioned this multiple times.
The hardest game on the list. It was my number 2.
Which one was your number 2 again?
It was Crash.
Crash?
Remember the new Dark Souls?
This is the thing, is Crash Bandicoot is really the Dark Souls of platformers.
Yeah, really the Dark Souls of platformers, I think.
But the world is just so good. I talk about it all the time because I love the game, and it's a great off of. I genuinely think it's the best game of its generation. I think because it came out in like 2010. I think up until 2020, I still think it's the best game like that came out. It's just perfect. Like
Perfect.
Yeah. The funny thing is, even the mistakes they made ended up making the game better. I think the game has... Never mind. I guess it's not perfect because it has a single flaw, and that's Bed of Chaos. Fuck that boss fight. But everything else about the game, I think is perfect. Even the fact, because the Bed of Chaos, the reason why it sucks so bad is, and the areas in sucks so bad, is because they ran out of time. Like if you go into the Demon Ruins where that boss is, all of the enemies around you are one of the other models of an enemy in the game with legs on it. Real shit. It is the same model as the Undead Dragon's bottom half, but they flipped it over and put legs on it. And that's why they're so weird, is that just there for ambiance because you're not supposed to fight them, because they literally just gave them a basic attack animation thing where they just slam you because they ran out of fucking time to make the Demon Ruins. And that's why Bed of Chaos sucks so bad as well. It was the least designed boss in the entire game. They spent the least amount of time on it. So aside from that, game's perfect. It's fantastic. Go play Dark Souls. Don't let people tell you it's hard. Just summon a White Phantom. There are always people online on PC.
It's perfect. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, all these games, 7 out of 10. Shout out to Krill.
I don't think there's a perfect game. I think that like
You never played Shit, I forgot the name. What was that motorcycle game where you?
MX versus ATV.
No. Well, it's not a motorcycle game, but you're a biker, and Ride to Hell Retribution.
Oh yeah, perfect game. No
that joke definitely wasn't killed because I couldn't think of the name of the game.
Yeah,
it's so forgettable and so perfect that you forgot.
Perfect game. I mean, I do think there was one like perfect game, and it was very narrowly like outside of my my top 3 because it is also one of my favorite games, and that's Portal. And Portal's just one of those games that I think anyone can play, but that is not my number 1 because the way I phrased this was, what is your top 3? Not what you think is the best game in the world. What is my favorite game to play? And I can tell you, if you hand me Kingdom Hearts 2 on any day, I will sit down and play that thing for 10 hours straight.
Maybe
if it was on mobile.
Yeah.
If it was on, I don't care. My phone could probably run the fucker. I would play it for 10 hours on mobile. I love Kingdom Hearts 2 so much. It's ridiculous. I can't begin to tell you what Kingdom Hearts did for me. Like, when I was a kid, I played Kingdom Hearts 1 when I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something. I can't remember when it came out exactly. I think it was like 2003. And then it was my first experience as a person being like, man, I cannot wait for them to make a second one of those. And just sitting there and just hoping. I think they're lagged out and they can't see me, but I'm going to still talk about this damn game because I don't care at this point.
What did you do? Sorry, I was looking at when Kingdom Hearts came out.
When Kingdom Hearts came out, I just want to make sure you guys aren't lagging.
No. Oh, we did, but don't worry about it.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Just give me a thumbs up if you're lagging, and I'll just keep talking without you.
What if I give you a middle finger?
That works too. Anyway, that game also was the first time in my life that I just sat down and was like, man, I can't wait for the sequel. I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a second one. I played Chain of Memories. I know there's gonna be a second one. When's it coming out? And we had to wait. What was it, like 8 years for Kingdom Hearts 2?
It was so long. I played Chain of Memories and like I completed both Riku and Sora's story multiple times and replayed Kingdom Hearts 1 multiple times. I was an expert in both of the games they released in between before 2 ever came out. I'm just like, when are we gonna get it?
Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002. Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2005.
3 years, that was too long.
Kingdom Hearts 2 did not come out in 2005.
I think it was
5, so it may have felt like 2006.
I think it may have just been
March. North America got it March 28th, 2006.
2006. It was like 4 years.
That's almost a year later. Yeah, but 4 years. I mean, as a kid, for one thing, 4 years feels a lot longer.
All right. Anyway, it felt like forever, is what I'm saying. I don't care. It felt like 10 years. Maybe I'm thinking Kingdom Hearts 3, because Kingdom Hearts 3 really was.
Yeah, I think it's Kingdom Hearts 3. Because Kingdom Hearts
14 years after.
Dude,
I don't want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, because
they also fucked with you. Because in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, there's the freaking secret endings that tease the next game. Nomura, you are an ass. I love you, but you're an ass. You tortured child me with that shit because it looks so cool.
No matter how long it was, I was waiting as a kid for this game to come out. I waited forever. I bought it on the first day, and I remember starting that shit up and just going, well, first of all, where the hell's Sora? And second of all, this is amazing! This is everything I wanted! It was so good. And I part of the reason I still have not finished Kingdom Hearts 3 to this day is, first of all, the game has flaws. Kingdom Hearts 2 has flaws too. But part of the reason that I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way through yet, even though it's been out for almost 2 years now, is I sat down, I started playing it, and I expected to get that feeling again. That feeling of just pure, like, this is exactly what I wanted. This is incredible. I love this. And I didn't get it.
I actually did get that feeling.
You're so
when I got it in Kingdom Hearts 3 for Olympus. And then right after Olympus, it went away. I went, and now what?
Dude, the Toy Story world killed me. Oh my
I actually
God.
liked the Toy Story world. I thought that was one of the better worlds.
It was okay, but like when I started doing Monsters Inc., I'm just like, all right.
Dude, we could go on for hours comparing Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3 or Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which I honestly agree. I think Birth by Sleep's better than 2. It's really good. The story's not as good, in my opinion, but
Yeah,
the
story's really
gameplay
weak.
is so good in Birth by Sleep.
Might be that person, but when a game starts adding decimals and the number after isn't 5, it's a little ridiculous.
This is the other thing is, ironically, I compare Kingdom Hearts as a series, as like a franchise, to what is the fucking anime? The anime where there's no good entry
Fate.
point, Jordan. Yeah, the Fate series.
Yeah,
The Fate series. The Fate series is daunting and it's annoying to get into, but if you just sit down and play one, you just sit down and play one, you just sit down and watch one anime, doesn't matter. You'll probably enjoy it if it's one of the ones that people recommend to you, and then you will want more. And that's the shitty thing about it, is deep down inside, this whole Kingdom Hearts franchise is not the best thing ever, but it doesn't matter. You still like it. It's still Kingdom Hearts, and you still like it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts.
One second.
Oops.
Just
While
one
he's
moment.
doing that, I think we can all agree that our number one games to us, the series for some reason becomes like this game where they can't do anything wrong.
Except for
So-
Kingdom Hearts 3, that was wrong.
Yeah,
you
Kingdom
did.
Hearts 3 had serious issues.
I feel like we all just have our affinity towards the series that we put our number one game in. And it's just our favorite of that series.
For me, it's Diablo because look, Diablo 3 is kind of an objectively a shit game. I still played it for like hundreds of
So
hours.
long.
Well, that's why I said our number one games.
I played 8 seasons of that shit before I stopped. It's after Reaper of Souls, the game got so good. The thing I was gonna say about Kingdom Hearts, though, I think Kingdom Hearts, and here's the problem with it, is that Kingdom Hearts is me and Jake's childhood, and it's a lot of people's childhood, and that fucked it up. Because it wasn't even that they couldn't have reached the level of hype that people set for it. It was that all they had to do was deliver Kingdom Hearts 2, but like make it a little bit cooler, like add a little bit to it, and put it on next gen, and then end the story. They made it on next gen, so they accomplished point 1.
It's very pretty too.
It doesn't feel as good to play as Kingdom Hearts 2, so you fucked up there. It doesn't end the story, and it doesn't give a satisfying third part of the story. So you only kind of got one of them right, because really, if you made it in modern day, you're going to put it on next gen hardware anyway. So
Yeah.
like that was just a given. So you fucked up the 2 points that you actually had to do. Anything else about the game you could have tossed in the trash. It doesn't matter. You just had to do those 2 things.
So you're saying there's a Kingdom Hearts 4 coming?
Oh, there is.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. The game before secret endings that you get 100%. In fact, the game does not have a secret ending because there's DLC.
Yes.
Square Enix.
Yes.
Um,
Welcome to video games.
Seriously, so there was the reward in the old Kingdom Hearts games where if you 100%ed it, which was one of the best things, was if you got 100% completion, you got a secret ending. You got to see part of what they thought the next game would be. It was so cool. And then in this one, 100% gets you nothing. Why? It just makes me think back to how good Kingdom Hearts 2 was, because a lot of people, like, the game has flaws. But when I think of a game that is just video game and is just fun and makes me think of childhood, it's like these games that we've talked about, like Crash, Kingdom Hearts, Sly Cooper. Those are what I think of. And that's why I put Jack as my honorable mention. It's because that's one of the games that does that for me, where I'm just like, this is video game to me. This represents everything that is video games.
The story is a complicated mess. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but you don't seem to understand. That's not the point of Kingdom Hearts. The point is that I get to go grab Beast from Beauty and the Beast and do a combo attack with him that is literally a beam of light that destroys shadows.
That's what light does, yes.
I
It's
get to
about
hang out with
like-
fucking Mickey Mouse and beat the shit out of gigantic monsters with him.
Hey, Jake,
That's the
I don't wanna
point, and it's
ruin your
anime.
day.
It's so
You want me to do the same thing?
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
I did it. I made a beam of light that destroys shadows.
But you
I know what
you
you
don't
mean, though.
understand.
The light only
You haven't
makes the
seen
shadows
Beast's combo
longer.
attack. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
also-
did play it. I kind of enjoyed it.
yeah.
I'll say that for sure.
Yeah. And I can make a review of Kingdom Hearts 3 and talk about all the issues with it.
Yeah.
From a longtime fan of just because everyone was like, this game is so good. I'm lying. I can't accept the fact that it's not good.
There's
It's like-
a couple huge problems with that game, but we're not
Take
talking
your
about that.
nostalgia glasses off. We're
Yeah.
talking about Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, nostalgic glasses are thoroughly strapped onto my face for Kingdom Hearts 2. It's so good.
Yeah.
There is I have one problem with that game, period. And that is the Little Mermaid world.
Oh
Fuck. I hate
my
mic.
god. The Little Mermaid world is such trash.
Well,
It's
because the
garbage.
first one they made it a water level and they realized that was kind of weird to play. So instead of trying to solve the fact that it was weird to play, they just took it out and replaced it with a rhythm game.
And you sing songs with
Yeah,
Ariel.
you
That's
sing
it.
and you think that they would be able to have all these songs from the Little Mermaid, but they didn't have the money to get them all, so you get one. So instead, you get one in them.
Bye, Jordan.
So close. I was about to make a good joke too.
All right. I think we're about done with tonight, and there's Jordan again.
Never mind. You do only get one. You get Under the Sea. I was gonna say Part of Your World might be in there, but no, I don't
No,
think
it's
they did it.
Under the Sea is the only one you get. All right.
Remake of it.
No, the live action remake I think is gonna have really good music. I honestly think that they're gonna have really cool music this time because, for one thing, the person who is playing Ariel is a musician.
Oh wait, are they actually doing it? I was making a joke about this. Are
Oh,
they
yeah,
actually
no,
doing
they've
a Little
announced
This has been
Mermaid live
announced
action?
forever.
Oh shit! I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's why I was
Ariel's
making
a
a stupid
Ariel's a
joke.
singer. They also made Ariel black, which is cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So I'm kind of I kind of hope they just do like completely different remixes of the music, but not what they did with Aladdin, or just write new music. Like, anyway,
But with
that's
Kingdom
off topic.
Hearts, with Kingdom Hearts, I think my favorite part of it is just how it was made.
Yeah.
Where the Final Fantasy person and the Disney person were like, "Want to make a game? Hell yeah!"
Yeah, no, did you know that's how that happened?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, they were
I'm
in
not
the
just saying that
elevator,
because
literally.
I'm not just saying that because I'm saying it.
But it's
That's
so
why I'm-
dope. Well, dude, I'm kind of excited for Kingdom Hearts because they can get away from Disney. Kingdom Hearts 4. Because we'll talk about it later. This isn't relevant to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Just to sum up, Kingdom Hearts is a lot of fun, and if you ever want to sit down and play it and try to understand why it's probably my favorite game of all time and will always be my favorite game of all time, when you sit down to play it, do not take it seriously. Do not sit there and go, "This is high art. No. It is a fun game about Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters killing shadows. Play it like that, and you will love it almost as much as I do.
Go into it.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah.
And that's us, right? We're
Yeah.
pretty much done.
You know what I've realized, Jake?
What?
To end this off? We are Kingdom Hearts. Can't take us too seriously.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a completely serious person.
We're Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
We will all say Hanort, Jordan, the whole time.
We were Kingdom Hearts since the beginning.
Really? The treasure was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
1 year later, we realized we were Kingdom Hearts.
We were all Xehanorts the whole time.
We were all Xehanorts the whole time.
I don't know that
That's the
joke.
plot.
Goofy, what the fuck are you talking about?
Let me tell you, Justin. I'll tell you about that joke. We were Xehanorts the whole fucking time.
That's
Everyone
the plot
was
of
a
Kingdom
Xehanort.
Hearts 3.
We were all Xehanorts.
Xehanort's
How
a
many
character, by the way.
I was about to say, what the fuck's a Xehanort?
How many Xehanorts were there? They were all Xehanorts. Everyone was Xehanort.
Everybody was always secretly Xehanort, including Mickey fucking Mouse.
Spoiler, isn't this just the plot of Bioshock Infinite?
Kind of.
Infinite realities, infinite Xehanorts, infinite fan fiction. Let's get the fuck out.
Thank you all for watching.
God.
Thank you all for hanging out with us for a whole year worth of podcasts. We hope to do another, 5 years of this, I guess. We'll shoot for 5 years. If we get to 5 years, I'll consider us.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
We're gonna outlive
Around
Disney.
30.
I'm calling it.
Oh, yeah.
Disney's gonna get broken up by anti-monopoly laws.
Or are they?
See, I told you.
I hope so. Maybe.
But yeah,
Hold up. I want to say something to the listeners.
All right, what do you want to say?
If you're listening, watching, or doing however you consume our content, if you just follow me on Twitter, I appreciate the hell out of you. You're fantastic, and thank you so much for letting us make 52 episodes of this bullshit and not having it get no views or downloads or anything. Just the fact that one person watched our stuff makes me so damn happy. And there's a
You're gonna
lot
make
more
me
than
cry.
that.
you're gonna make me cry.
Makes me so happy when I see someone that actually enjoyed my content. Thank you so much.
If you guys for any reason want to reach out to us on Twitter, we all have our Twitters. We all have our Twitches and all that shit. This is
Justin
dubious
does
_Justin everywhere. He's
You
gonna
make me
cry.
cry.
He's crying Justin everywhere. This is it Fox? Like a question, is it Fox? And I've been your host.
It Fox?
Yeah, I've been your host,
Yeah,
Jake
just
the
write your name
Jackal,
on it.
for over a year now. I want to do this for another year, so thank you all for
Let's rock
watching.
it, dude.
If you like what we're doing, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/unbannedcast. I have to shill. I have to get it all out. Give us
Got it.
$1. And we love you. We'll see you next week for more of us just talking about video games.
Next week we
Yeah.
talk about RuneScape.
Maybe we'll
Next
not
week
talk
we
about
transition
RuneScape.
to a different game.
No,
Oh,
next
shit.
week I'll probably be done with Resident Evil 2, so maybe we'll talk about that.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye everyone. Be
See ya,
safe out
everyone.
there.